She don't like her eggs all runny. She thinks crossing her legs is funny.
Good afternoon, ladies and gents, and welcome to another exciting, exuberant, powerful... I'm just going through the list of adjectives that describe our award-winning show. What else should I put in here?
Informative and zippy.
Those are good, too. Welcome to Eat This Twin Cities. I'm Terrence Daniel. By the way, I've decided to change my name to Terrence Daniel because I'm just not pompous enough.
I like how you always say your full name, and I just say, and Tracy.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what? From a security standpoint, you're probably doing the right thing.
Well, yours isn't really your official name.
No, we're not going to give away what my actual last name is. That would be a crime.
Radio guy.
Terrence Daniel strikes me as the name of like a poet. Like my picture, I should have like a pipe.
And a cool hat.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, episode 3 of Eat This Twin Cities happening right now on your speakers or in your headphones. Maybe you're in your car listening, but we do appreciate you listening. Not sure when you listen, but that's really irrelevant at this point. But
keep all doors locked, eyes on the road.
Yes, exactly. Sounds like that almost sounded like one of those voiceovers I've done for like roller coasters. And please step carefully to your left.
Keep your hands inside the vehicle.
You know, we should tell people. We haven't really, we don't have to drag this on, but we really haven't told people really what the hell we even do for a living. Personally, I'm a voice actor. And Tracy does a lot of photography and social media marketing.
Right.
And I don't think we've ever brought that up before.
That's true. We haven't.
So hire us for that shit, too.
Help us.
Help us help you. Anyway.
What is it? Show me the money.
Oh, yeah. That's on every night somewhere on cable. All right. So let's get into what we're going to be covering this week. We got a lot of cool places to talk about. We got a lot of cool people to talk with as well. And Tracy, tell everybody what's coming up.
Right. We're going to be talking to Katie Hill with Minneapolis Institute of Arts. It's their 100th birthday and they're bringing art out into the community. And we are going to be talking to Stephanie March with Minneapolis St. Paul Magazine, senior editor. She is going to talk to us about Restaurant Week.
Speaking of restaurants, over the weekend we hit Sparks, Sixsmith, and The Loop, and we're going to be talking about all of those places. Of course, this past weekend we had the Academy Awards. I was too sick to go to my sister's house to watch this, but you kind of represented both of us.
Right.
During the Academy Awards, and of course,
you threw me to the wolves.
Yeah, let's be honest here. My family's very opinionated, and well, just like everybody else on social media. But how was that experience on Sunday night?
We had a blast. We always do. We had tons of good food, and I have to say, I kind of put together a badass cheese tray, which is one of our favorite things, and Bloody Marys and some wine and caramel corn. Of course, it's all about the food for me. And since I mentioned Bloody Marys, I have to give a shout out to Miss Mary's. If you haven't tried that Bloody Mary mix, it is so, so, so good. And it's another local company, Minnesota and Wisconsin. Check it out. It's delicious. I actually found them at the Minnesota Monthly Food and Wine Experience last year, which is coming up March 7th and 8th. So going back to the Oscars, what did you think of the winners?
Well, you and I, of course, saw Birdman Friday night and became immediate fans of it. And right. I was a little bummed that Michael Keaton didn't win for Best Actor. I've been a fan of his since he was Mr. Mom.
I think he deserved it, too.
Oh, he really did. And by the way, when I'm in a grocery store, I kind of do the grapefruit thing in the produce department. I'll grab one and then I'll spill the rest of them on purpose. Just to see how many people in that area remember that scene from Mr. Mom.
And how has that gone for you?
It has not gone well. Usually security is called immediately and I'm hauled away in cuffs. But yeah, I was rooting for Michael Keaton. But the ceremony itself, of course, is, everybody talks about how long it is. But I thought the Lady Gaga performance was powerful as hell.
No shit. Unbelievable. I had no idea she could sing like that.
It really rocked, and she blew away that silly Carrie Underwood performance. When she did that Sound of Music special a couple of Decembers ago. Oh my God, show me the vomit bag.
Yep, but Lady Gaga was incredible.
We also saw Wild on, I said that very Minnesotan, Wild. Boy, that was really wild. We saw that with Reese Witherspoon, which of course...
Excellent movie.
They could film her on the can for 3 hours and I'd watch her.
Yeah, she's one of your favorites.
She is one of my favorites. I've loved her ever since she was Mrs. June Carter Cash in Walk the Line. She pretty much won my heart during that film. But yeah, that was an incredible flick. We're not movie critics here, but I would recommend seeing both those films, Birdman and Wild.
We talked about that this year. It seemed like there wasn't one movie that, a lot of times it feels like there's that one movie that's just going to take it all. And there were so many good films this year.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're a little behind this year, so we'll have to get out to the theater and see some of those nominations. But we did, after we had a chance to see Wild, I think it was on Saturday at the Showplace at West End, St. Louis Park. We had a chance to drop by one of the newer bar restaurants in the area. There's a new place called Poop. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Loop. That's terrible. That is awful.
It's too bad because I've heard from a couple people that they really liked it there, but we didn't like it there at all.
We really didn't. Some of these West End bars, I'm really sorry, but this is another one of those West End bars that looks like a Gap with a bar and a bunch of televisions in it.
That place, that location seems like it's cursed because seriously, how many restaurants have been in there now?
Yeah, there's been about 3 or 4 of them. And I always try to have, you're not a West End hater, but you come close.
Right.
I'm always willing to kind of give it another shot. And I'm like, hey, let's go try that new place at West End. But there's just something about it where it seems like a lot of those establishments are trying a little bit too hard to be cool.
I will give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt because coming off the movie Wild, the movie was so emotional and deep and brought up a lot of feelings that I think we were in our heads a bit.
Right.
But walking in there, the music was cranked, which is fine. I know that's a thing, and I know a lot of restaurants do that, but it was ridiculous. Seriously, You couldn't even... I felt like my brain was going to explode. I couldn't hear the bartender when she asked me what I wanted to drink. I feel like that if you can't even hear the bartender, it might be a little too much. And for that location... And it was in the middle of the afternoon. That'd be one thing, too, on a Friday night.
I just thought it looked a bit stodgy, almost as if they had 4 hours to put a new bar together.
I always have trouble, too, when people have attitude. And our bartender, the guy bartender was actually pretty cool. But the girl bartender was, I don't know. I just felt like you're not a rock star. You're a bartender and you're in service and you should be nice and cool. I mean, she had really a ton of attitude. I felt like she was purposely whispering.
I know, like I'm so quiet and artsy.
Right, and she had, it was a bad experience.
Well, Cooper was one of the first bars over there, the Irish Bar, and it's still one of the coolest places over there, in my opinion. For
sure, it rocks. It's more authentic and just a good spot, good Irish bar. And I do like Toby Keith's as well, but...
Yeah, I don't know about the downtown location or not, but as far as West End, here's the scoop. Loop is poop.
So we drank our drinks as fast as we could, and we headed to one of our other favorite spots that we have to talk about because this place is awesome. It's hidden in the Bryn Mawr neighborhood. It's called Sparks.
Yes, love it. It's right off Penn and Cedar Lake Road, and this has kind of become our... kind of a home away from home, so to speak, and we absolutely love the menu.
Yeah, they have a wood-burning oven that they just put out an amazing variety of food with, and I mean, I've had a little bit of everything. I love their steak. I love their chicken is amazing. I mean, really, we have not had a bad meal there, and they also have great specials. They have happy hour. They have half-price bottles of wine. One cool thing that they do, as long as you have a meal, if you do get a bottle of wine and you don't drink it all, you can take it with you. They also have a Tuesday night date special, which is $20 per person. And then you kind of always stick with the same thing there.
I'm embarrassed to admit this, but we just discovered this, last summer?
Right, which is sad.
Yeah, it's super sad. And one of the greatest items on the menu is that Meat Lover's Pizza. As a matter of fact, I love it so much that it's the only damn thing I ever order because I'm institutionalized. I don't have a life outside of that menu item. I'm so used to it, I can't handle anything else.
That's your personality. You find something and you stick with it. Speaking of your personality and eating a Meat Lover's Pizza that has tomatoes on it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, I think we should get the public's opinion about... So you think you don't like tomatoes?
I don't like tomatoes. I don't like raw tomatoes, like on a hamburger where you're putting like a sliced raw tomato on them. I don't like those little baby tomatoes in my salad. That's the type of
them.
I despise them. I can't even look at them. I don't even want them on my plate.
And yet you will eat spaghetti and you'll eat tomatoes on pizza.
That's right, because the tomatoes are cooked.
And you feel that the flavor is completely different.
The flavor is completely different.
No, it's not a flavor thing. It's a texture.
No. It's absolutely a flavor thing. If you actually if you were to eat like a sun-dried tomato versus a raw sliced red tomato, you're telling me there wouldn't be any difference in flavor.
Well, throwing in sun-dried tomato, yeah, that might be a little bit different. But if you're comparing a tomato with, let's say, tomato soup or a sauce, it does taste the same. It tastes tomatoey.
Well, it's heated up.
It's a texture thing. I don't know why you want to argue.
It is
about
it's not just a texture thing. So you're telling me that if I were to take a bite out of a raw tomato, in your opinion, in your expert opinion, you're telling me that that's going to taste the same as a warm bowl of tomato soup.
Right, correct.
Well, I
don't know why is this
at
a
what
big deal
point
for
in
you?
your
Like, why can't you just admit that it's a texture?
It is
in your
not
mouth?
just a texture
It's a
thing.
flavor.
At what point in your life did you lose your taste buds? It is not
I
just
have excellent buds.
You may have excellent bud, but you don't have excellent buds.
Medicinal, it rules. Let's move on.
All right, let's move on. I don't understand you at all. We better move on before I find a new co-host.
Well, yeah, especially since we could share, since you got my own microphone now and I'm in my room, since I can't even be in your studio anymore. Now we're separated.
Yeah,
this is going down. This is just going down a slippery slope.
It wasn't my decision. It was the program director's decision that we are to record in separate rooms because we no longer get along.
I'm on strike.
Oh my God, we've got our first podcast strike. Is that even legal? Oh my God, Tracy's like picketing outside of the house. We've got our first ever national podcast strike. What can we do to make you come back to the show?
All right, let's move forward.
All right, coming up, we're going to talk to Katie Hill, the audience engagement specialist and birthday year planner extraordinaire from the Minneapolis Institute of Arts.
We'll be talking dragons.
We'll be back to Eat This Twin Cities right after this. With Suhan Unfiltered, sports columnist for the Minneapolis Star-Tribune, Jim Suhan presents in-depth conversations with the best writers and sports personalities in the area. Suhan brings professional journalism flavor without the verbal censoring. Find out what unfiltered really means only on the Alive and Social Network. SuhanUnfiltered.com. Welcome back to Eat This Twin Cities. And hey, Tracy, eat this.
Eat this.
Sunday, we did our breakfast tradition.
And I happened to catch on social media that the Minneapolis Institute of Arts was bringing art out into the community and that there's this cool ice dragon at Lake Calhoun. So we decided to drive by there and check it out, which it was way cool, don't you think?
It was very cool. And I didn't know the dragon spits fire at all the cars driving by.
Yeah, they were exploding and fire. Just kidding. No, but it prompted us to get in touch with the Minneapolis Institute of Arts because we wanted to hear more about this. I guess they're doing 52 of these surprises throughout the rest of the year. And we were lucky to talk to Katie Hill, and she is on the line now. Hi, Katie. It's Terry and Tracy with Eat This Twin Cities. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Doing good. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. We wanted to get in touch with you because I had noticed on Facebook about the dragon and that it was Minneapolis Institute of Art's 100th birthday and that you're bringing art out into the community. And so when we saw that the dragon was at Calhoun, we had to go check it out. And we did that Saturday morning in the freezing. It was so cold out there, but I had to get out and check them all out and take pictures. And so I was just wondering if you could tell us more about the 100th birthday and what are the different things that you're going to be doing?
Yeah, so the dragon is the ice dragon on Lake Calhoun is one of 52 surprises that the museum has planned to celebrate our 100th birthday year. So we're shooting for a surprise a week. Sometimes it's a little bit of a loose schedule there, but that's the goal. And we just really wanted to leverage this moment in time to celebrate art and the community and our vision and our collection in new and unexpected ways. So the Ice Dragon came out of this desire to bring art outside of the walls of the museum. Obviously, we can't take physical objects in our collection outside of the walls of the museum, so how can we inspire creativity based on the collection in a way that more people can interact with and notice and pay attention to, that still harkens back to the art inside the walls. So the Ice Dragon, we wanted to do something to celebrate our Asian collections, which are world-renowned, and took a bunch of different dragons from different works of art and sent them to the sculptor, and then, the dragon was born. So we've been planning for months, and after, 60 tons of ice and, all the negative 35-degree wind chill and all of that fun, it's been worth it to see just the delight and surprise, which is super trackable through social media, that people in Minneapolis are really having a great time with it.
Well, and even the morning I was there was another guy out there, and he was taking a bunch of pictures, and he said, I didn't even know about this. He was seriously so excited. He's like, I just had to stop and take pictures. This is the coolest thing. And now I heard it was supposed to be on the lake. Is that correct? But then with the weather going up and down, there was some trouble, right?
Yeah, so originally, as you could probably tell by the design, it looks like it's sort of dipping in and out of the ground now, the frozen ground. But it was designed for the lake. But a few weeks before our sort of launch date for the sculpting, we were, talking with the, Minneapolis Parks Board and the city officials and things like that. And the ice just wasn't thick enough because our winter had been too warm. So not a bad thing for me. I love Minnesota. I'm not a huge fan of winter, so it was fine that it was too warm, and just for safety, because it's such heavy ice, and we want people to interact with it and be around it and have a great time. So to keep everyone safer, we moved it up on land, and it actually became almost more accessible because it's just right there on the side of the road. So it worked out. It worked out all right in the end.
Yeah, definitely eye-catching, and it's right off the path, which is nice. I thought it was great, a great reminder, because sometimes you forget of all the things that are going on in the Twin Cities, and you forget about the quality of what we have, like with the Minneapolis Institute of Art. And it is such a great thing to come and do when it is this cold out.
Right. Yeah, we are looking for just a uniquely Minnesotan way to kind of for last week's surprise, which is what that was, and it'll be around until it melts, basically. So it's weather dependent on how much longer it will be out there. But we have more surprises in store for the rest of the year, celebrating this exciting moment in time.
And how can people track that? Will they be able to see on your website and on your Facebook page what's happening? What are the next surprises?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have a website dedicated to the birthday year. So it's artsmia.org/100. And there we're logging each surprise with a blog post. So you can sort of, as soon as we announce them, that's where they go live. And then we push it out through all of our social media channels, mostly Facebook and Twitter. And we just have a lot in store this year with some amazing exhibitions and some really high quality art, so that it allows us to sort of play around the edges with projects like this Ice Dragon as well.
Okay, great. That just sounds wonderful. Can you tell us anything else that's going to be coming up throughout the year?
Yeah, so we have some wonderful exhibitions. Right now we have the Habsburgs exhibition, but after that we have one of Leonardo da Vinci's codex coming, which is, sort of his original notebook of ideas. So it's very cryptic and exciting, and sort of like inside the mind of a very creative master. And then after that, we have an exhibition based around Delacroix and his influence. So it's a big painting show that will just, for anyone who loves paintings, it's going to be an amazing exhibition. So we have surprises sort of sprinkled in around all of those exhibitions. And then we're also doing surprise masterpiece exhibitions. So right now there's a Vermeer on view in the lobby from the Rijksmuseum, and it is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see like these are paintings that will not get lent out by these museums very often. So because it was our birthday, we worked out a special arrangement, and we didn't announce it until it was on view. So even staff didn't even know what it was. We just knew it was a surprise masterpiece coming. So that one's on view now, and there are 2 more coming this year. So pay attention, keep an eye out for those, because it's really, really special, and they're just free, and you can just walk right in the museum and see a premiere right now. It's pretty exceptional.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, and in addition to all the excitement inside the museum, I can't give away any of the secrets or surprises now, but definitely there will be more opportunities for art traveling outside the walls of the museum, metaphorically, of course, and you'll see art around town because of the MIA celebrating our 100th birthday throughout the rest of the year.
Okay, thank you so much, Katie. Right now, we need to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to be talking with Stephanie March over at Minneapolis St. Paul Magazine, and we're going to talk about Six Smith and a little bit more about Restaurant Week. We'll be right back. The Rusty Gatenby Review is the entertaining show about entertainment from movies, music, and more. Award-winning TV guy Rusty Gatenby and his review is the podcast with the biggest cast in entertainment, part of the Alive and Social Network. You can get that Minnesota connection to Hollywood and beyond any time of the day or night simply by clicking on the RustyGatenbyReview.com. That's the RustyGatenbyReview.com, part of the Alive and Social Network. All right, we are back, and on the line we have Stephanie March. She is the senior editor of the food and dining section in the Minneapolis St. Paul Magazine. So, Stephanie, we had a chance to go have lunch at Six Smith over in Wayzata, and that was based on your recommendation. Now, we don't normally listen to anybody else in the Twin Cities except for Stephanie March.
Woo! I love it. That's awesome. And so it's a new place, which is so perfect for you and perfect for them, which is the magic of Restaurant Week.
Absolutely. And, I got to say, between downtown Minneapolis and certain places around Wayzata, I mean, the entire Twin Cities is absolutely blowing up these last couple of years.
I know, it really is, and I think that that's one of the cool things is, our scene is so interesting, and it's so, God, there was 100 restaurants that opened last year alone, and a lot of the times people say, well, I can't really get to any places, I don't know which ones to go to, and the thing about Restaurant Week that's great is it allows you to try some new places, but it's got that safety net of the most you're going to pay is a $30 dinner. You know what I mean? So, some of these places where you could rank up a huge check normally, but you're like, I don't know, maybe they're good, maybe they're not. You can go check them out and see whether or not that's worth it or not to you in the long run.
Well, that's awesome. Well, we're having a blast on Restaurant Week. How many times a year does Minneapolis St. Paul Magazine do Restaurant Week?
We do it 3 times a year now because the restaurants are loving it because it gets, it puts butts in chairs, and the diners are loving it because, there's different menus that come up and it's a deal. And there are people who book it I'm not kidding you, that's the second most asked question I get. The first is, where should I go to eat? The second is, when's the next Restaurant Week?
That's awesome. Well, tell us about a couple of other hot spots. They don't necessarily have to be new restaurants, but maybe just a couple of places that maybe people haven't really heard of.
Well, what's funny is there's a lot of places that like for instance, Ocean Air, right? Everybody knows Ocean Air, but that's a $72 check average normally. And so going in and having, a $30 dinner there is a great deal. But then there's places like Third Bird, which opened not too long ago, but it's tucked away in Loring Park. And maybe you haven't seen that or even known about it yet. And then there's, we have places like Kiachi, which is a sushi place sort of in the Kingfield neighborhood that has a great, reputation. And my favorite is Corner Table. I'll be honest with you. And they are such a great little spot. They just moved locations within the last year, but it's been the same restaurant for a while. They do an amazing Restaurant Week menu.
Well, it's unbelievable. Not just the other day, but toward the latter part of the summer, we just discovered Sparks over off of Penn. And, with the Meat Lovers Pizza and all their wine specials, we fell in love with it immediately. And now it seems like that's pretty much where we go to have dinner.
That is a wonderful spot. I know John Hunt there does a great job, and he's really, he's tucked into that neighborhood, and it's such a great feeling, that neighborhood vibe there. They've just recently expanded not too long ago, right? So they have more seating.
Yes, they do. Just one quick question. People get a lot of recommendations from our brand new Eat This Twin Cities podcast, but if people want to go out this weekend, any other recommendations or anything that you want to say before I let you go?
Well, I will tell you, I don't know if you know about the big cochon that's in town this weekend. There's, a giant pork fest that is here.
Oh, my God. Only in this state would there be a giant pork fest.
I know. Well, March 1st happens to be National Pig Day. And so on March 1st, there's 5 local chefs who are breaking down entire hogs, and they're competing for the best meal or the best dish at this huge event downtown Minneapolis at Cochon.
That is incredible. And I bet there won't be any beer there.
There's no beer or bourbon or piggy parts that you get to snack on, and it is a kind of a big ticket item, but you know what? It comes around. This is the first time they've been doing it, and this touring thing has been going on for 7 years, so it's going to be kind of a big deal.
Well, that sounds outstanding. Well, Stephanie March, I know that you're a busy young lady, and we appreciate you coming on the show for just a few minutes, and please come back.
Yeah, I will. Anytime. Let me know.
All right. Have a great weekend.
You too.
That was Stephanie March from Minneapolis St. Paul Magazine and TB. Again, we have to give her credit for recommending Sixsmith in Wayzata.
Right. We were so impressed this time with Sixsmith, and I'm really glad we went back. We didn't have the best experience the very first time that we went there, but it literally was the first day that they opened. So we were very pleased this time. We had salmon that was out of this world, right? I mean, how delicious was that salmon?
Well, I'm a big salmon fan anyway, and they mastered it.
They did, and it was an amazing deal. It was $10, and you either could get an appetizer and your entree, or get your entree and a dessert. And that was the lunch special. I think their dinner is $30. And Restaurant Week is running through tomorrow, so if you get a chance, go over there. And I love Wayzata, the town. It's just so cute, and even in the winter, it's nice to be on the lake. And our server was Natalie, and she was out of this world too.
Very cool. Well, there's a rumor going around town that I'm a fan of bars. And, I love those kind of bars that are kind of in the middle where you can see the entire establishment.
Yeah, their whole setup in there is great. Just lots of space and great windows, great views, and just it's nice and open, which I like.
And I think are we going to give away the prize yet, or am I jumping the gun?
Oh, no. Yeah, we can move right into that. Drum roll, please. The winner is Quinn Hubner.
Quinn Hubner, ladies and gentlemen, batting third.
Quinn! Whoop, 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 whoop.
Batting third, the left fielder, Quinn Hubner.
Congratulations, Quinn.
My PA sports announcer bits, don't they kind of make people feel like they're a little more important than they really are?
Maybe you.
Yeah, maybe it's just a cheap way to get my voice out there.
Yeah, I think so.
But congratulations, Quinn. This is a great prize because this is a fabulous restaurant and bar.
Right on. It is. He'll love it.
So that includes another powerful edition of Eat This Twin Cities.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And please share the show on Twitter and Facebook. We really appreciate the support there. Do we have any clue what we're going to discuss on next week's show?
Next week's going to be all about spontaneity. Watch our Facebook page for updates at facebook.com/eatthisTwinCities.
All right. Until next time, eat this Twin Cities.